It's an outstanding field. I think it's the toughest field we've ever had. I think there's a good chance that the course record will be broken, and same thing goes true for the men. But a lot of interesting ladies be racing tomorrow, so there's going to be a lot of pain.
I did my first ultra back in 2018, but I really got started in 2019.
I started running when I was a freshman. I ran track, and when I first started, I was pretty convinced that I was going to be a sprinter, and pretty quickly as the season went on, I was doing middle distance, and by the end of the season, I was being convinced to run cross country. And I went to cross-country practice over the summer, and I mean, I was hooked ever since. So things kind of took off from that sophomore cross-country season.
It was 2019, I did the Boston Marathon, and I did really bad. I just did not have a good race, and I remember going into a bike shop, and there was Dr. Horton, and he was like, I found out I was a runner, and he was like, well, you're not a real runner because you run on the road. And I was like, wow, I want to be a real runner. So somehow he convinced me to do a 50-miler in 2019.
So over the summer, when COVID hit and a lot of the races got canceled, I was able to kind of branch out, run on some of the Shawnee State trails, and just kind of, you know, explored a different side of running. And the more that I was on the trails and enjoying that, I had kind of convinced myself to try JFK, and had a great time at JFK.
And when I was growing up, you know, my dad was really involved in my swimming career, and I remember he would always say this thing. He was like, you know, you won, but who'd you beat? And it sticks with me all the time, because it's like, yeah, you can go to like some of the smaller events and you can do feel-good things and win in a small field, but it's even more fun to win in a big field, or not win, but just race against the best. So I'm looking forward to that. Rachel Spaulding.
What number?
Spaulding.
What number?
101.
What's that mean?
I guess that's me.
This is my first, technically, first mountain race, so excited to experience that. It's such a different side of running. It's a beautiful side of running. There's just much more to it than being, you know, on the road, which I love. I love my road races at the same time, but there's just something so different being out on a trail and being more absorbed in your surroundings rather than just your pace and how you're feeling in general.
I wouldn't say that I have a lot of other female running friends. It's definitely becoming more popular, but I kind of stand alone. I train a lot by myself. Now there's a lot of supportive women in the area, and I feel like they support me a lot, but training wise, I just have not found anyone crazy enough to do the things that I do. So sometimes my boyfriend Logan will tag along, but you know, that's kicking and screaming sometimes. But yeah, so, but the females are supportive, and I find that the males are progressively becoming more supportive as well, and they really like to see us females out there, even if that means beating them sometimes. So I would say this area has been just great in general.
I feel like the size and the amount of female runners in the ultra world is so much smaller than the men. So there's not as many of us. There's a lot more men maybe in a race than the female side. The men might get more of, I don't know, the spotlight in these races because they can be so stacked. So I feel like it's slowly transitioning to where there's more females and a deeper field, but I feel like there's just not as many females that there are males in races.
There's a lot of weak-looking men ahead of you. You can kill them.
This way?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I guess one of them is kind of going back to that male ego, which I do see it changing, but I specifically remember in my first ultra, in my 50-miler, I was Iron Mountain 50-miler in Damascus, and I was like starting with the men, and I got in this like little group, and they looked at me and they're like, you know, it's a 50-miler, right? So my like witty response was, oh my God, it is. I was like, I didn't know that. Like, of course I know it's a 50-miler. Like they were like saying that I was going out too fast or whatever. So it was really nice to go back and beat them. But I feel like a woman kind of has to deal with that, you know, some of those frail egos. But, and then the other one is just like the biology thing. I mean, like, you know, your period. Men don't have to deal with that. And that really messes with your training sometimes. So yeah, those two things are probably what men do not have to deal with.
I feel like I'm so new in the sport. I would love to be a role model and I'd love to work up to that, but I feel like I'm just so new and still learning that I'm looking up to so many people right now. But hoping to get to that point, of course, and trying to do my best to, you know, reach out to people, like I said, that haven't been on the trails before and trying to help them explore it. But right now, I feel like I find role models in so many people in the community, so just trying to find my way, I guess. Thank you.
Awesome! Rolling home! I think you got 3-minute rolling distance if you want to.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Wow! Sarah, new course record, 5:03. Wow! She just barely nicked the course record by 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
Hey,
Proud of that.
the only thing is,
A little bit.
good job, girl.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Thanks.
Impressive. You didn't just barely beat it, you annihilated it.
Thank you. It makes me honestly want to push harder, knowing that there are people that look up to me. You know, I want to make people proud if that is the case, that people do look up to me. I want to just keep running hard and keep getting more experience.
I mean, I think it's a good feeling if anyone's looking up to you, especially in a sport that's really dominated by men, but is starting to get a lot more female interest. But I don't know, I just hope a lot more female try it. So I think that's exciting. I think that anytime there's a field of more women, I mean, I think there's like twice as many men in this Promised Land race than there is women. So, but there's more women than probably ever now. So but it's a good feeling to get more people involved.
Rachel Spaulding, second place overall. Let's go, Rachel. Good job, Rachel.
Ow,
Just like you did at Hillgate.
Oh, I can't walk.
Stay up.
I think it's awesome that they were saying that I think it was the top 5 or 6 were under what it would normally be for first place. And I think that's awesome. I think that's a really good start.
Chick power.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a good start, getting the fields deeper in ultras, and it was just awesome competition.
What place did you get overall?
4th?
See, that's really cool.
Maybe?
Yeah, that's really
I know, I
cool,
do like
so.
beating boys.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But usually they're all like super supportive around, like
Yeah,
about it too,
most of the
so.
time. There was actually like on the last coming down, there was just a random a woman there, and she told me like, I think you have like 3 minutes between the next like guy. She's like, go get him, and I got super hyped. I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really
Love the
exciting.
support.
But, I mean, yeah, kudos to you because I knew you were gonna be fast, but. And I mean, we were looking at the splits, and I was like, I don't know, like what I'm capable of. I was like, I don't even know if I can break 5:30, and so I just think that the fact you like crushed it that much, that was really cool.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. It was awesome competition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Just, I don't know, I'm just super excited to keep going and keep running races. I feel like I'm super new to this, kind of like Sarah, so I'm just excited to keep seeing what I can do, and yeah.
It's exciting. It's a really cool time for females in general to be taking over the sport. So